Hi, and welcome back. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of my subscribers. I'm so happy that you're here. I launched my new channel this month on my birthday, and it was the best present I could have ever given myself. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate all of your likes and all of your comments. Your comments really help me to make the best content possible for you. So keep them coming. So in this video, I'll be showing you how I plan for fall, making a whole home transformation. It is a lot of work, but it doesn't seem like work because I absolutely love doing it. I like to make lists. I love to come up with color concepts and decor concepts so that at the end of all of this, when we start doing our decorating, that everything is cohesive and it just all looks great together, but it looks like there was no effort, even though there's a lot of effort that we put into it, but we do it because we love it, right? So in this video, we'll be going over my fall binder book and how I put that together, how I put together my mood boards, and that helps me with my shopping choices. And then we're also going to be doing another DIY for Thanksgiving. It's going to be the cutest rolling pin DIY that you've ever seen. And I'm also going to be showing you a really cute Halloween table centerpiece, which you might have a hint back there. So uh, anyway, I hope you enjoy it. So please grab your tea, grab your coffee, and relax and enjoy. Because I set aside a couple of days for my fall transformation and for my preparing for fall, I like to set the mood or set the stage, so to speak. And now, this day, I'm going to be creating a simmer pot, which fills the house with these warm fall flavors, and it really just gets my mind going, and it starts to set my intentions for this fall transformation. I've done simmer pots before with mulling spices, but not with fresh fruit like I am here. And so this is really refreshing to do it this way. And I feel like there's a bigger aroma with the fresh fruit and the herbs. I used rosemary and bay leaves. I also used fresh ginger root, and a lot of spices like whole cinnamon sticks, cardamom, and anise, and cloves. And all those smells came together, and it just smells So good. So after you fill the pot with some water, you get it to a nice little simmer, and you just keep your eye on it. Maybe every half hour or so, check the water level. But I had this going for hours. So my first thought process for this fall was, what kind of feeling do I want to portray? Do I want to try something new? Do I want to use a lot of my other items that I had before? What kind of things would I like to bring something new into the home? And how adventurous do I want to be? So that process starts with just looking at images. So I go on Pinterest and I just start looking through images and seeing what catches my eye, seeing what colors I like. I love to do these mood boards where after I look online at a bunch of different things, I like to put individual items together to see how I could build a story and a color story. Also with form and natural elements, what the trends are, do I want to follow trends, and how all of that helps me with, the things that I already own. I also have to plan, shopping trips. So I get my calendar and I figure out what's going to be the most important thing to do first. I also like to set up other things too, as far as organizing, like my journal. I think about the kind of books I want to read. I did a fall binder this year. Usually I have a lot of things written down. I like to organize online, but also on paper because I love lists. So the binder helps me with the physical lists as well as my calendar here that I'm prepping and planning everything. But I also like to do things digital as well. Our simmer pot is still going, still smelling good. So I like to set up my journal pages for the season. So when I like to write in the evenings, so I don't have to do any of these kinds of things when I'm getting ready to write. My pages are already there, ready for me to write whatever I'm feeling and thinking. Now I have many lists that I refer to on my phone when I'm out and about, but I really like the tactile nature of pen and paper and markers and pencils and things like that. So that's why I love this binder. I can organize it how I like. And I created my own PDFs that have the fall feeling that I want for this year. And I love this binder because it's got this vintage feel to it, which I love. And I can keep everything I need in here. I can keep my to-do lists, my shopping lists, my recipes that I want to try, all the decor that I like, what I'm shopping for, and all these types of things. Being organized in this way helps me to stay on track, which also means that I'm not buying anything more than what I already have on hand. I'm not overbuying, and I'm buying what I need to tell the story of the fall and autumn that I want. I usually start my fall prep about 2 weeks, the actual transition about 2 weeks before September 1st, because I like fall so much that I like to have everything ready early so that I can enjoy it for as long as possible. So I start planning and thinking about fall probably in July. And this year, there were things that were sold out already early July, if you can believe it. You know how they're having these seasons earlier and earlier, so you have to plan, and you kind of have to go with the flow if there are things that you want. So you just have to, get it when you can. So I start looking for things about July, late July, early August. And I just love my mood board, as you can see playing there in the background. I have like thousands of photos. I've been collecting these photos for years. So every year, I'll start off looking at my mood board, getting in the mood, so to speak, and really just getting excited about the season ahead and the holidays. Okay, so in my binder, I've got my fall activities, all the things that I want to do, any of my closet, fall shopping for fashion, any other activities, what movies I want to see this season, thinking about my baking list. I love to bake and cook, so that's a huge part of my holiday season, doing that. And any other fall stuff like apple picking or pumpkin patch, all those kind of fun stuff. Then I have my to-do list, some notes. Then I have a project planner that I like to plan all the rooms. And this is basically where I just kind of put down ideas of what I like, what I want, what I think I want. Whatever it is I'm thinking, I'll just write it down. Then I'll just, whatever notes I want to scribble down too. And then for here, this is my inventory sheet. Now, I don't have this filled out yet. I won't fill it out until I actually put things away, because I have a storage little section here so that I could write everything out where I put it, so that every year it gets easier and easier for the transition from spring and summer to fall. And then I have my list of decor supplies that I need every year, my shopping list. And then here is part of my menu. I mean, my menus for my Friendsgiving or Thanksgiving meals aren't always set in stone a month before. There's always something that I want to do or change. But, you know, you still have to plan early because you need to make your grocery list and that whole thing. I like to plan Thanksgiving no later than a month before, or at least 6 weeks. If I'm doing a bunch of pies or things like that, I like to do that 2 months, because if I make a lot of pies, I can make pie dough and freeze that, and then that's another one less thing that I have to do when it comes to that time to make pies. And we'll talk about pies later. You know, I can talk to you about my pie doughs that I use, that I just rely on every single year for all kinds of stuff. And we've got a DIY coming up too for pies, so that's later. So I don't have my Thanksgiving menu out yet because I'm still planning it. Same thing with my grocery list. However, I have started buying a few things. It's always good to stock up on your butter and sugar and all that stuff, you know, 3 to 4 months prior. So you'll have all of those basic things already in your pantry. Same thing with if you're doing gingerbread cookies, make sure you're buying molasses in the summertime. Molasses doesn't go bad. So you're going to be ahead of the game. You're not going to be trying to rush to get something that you absolutely have to have for a recipe and they don't have it in the store. So don't be caught out. Make sure you plan ahead, and that's what our binder is for, is to keep us on track. I have my baking list here, and I always just basically put down everything I want to bake, and then I'll put down the ingredients. Here's the reference. I might have it online. Maybe I put it on Pinterest because I don't want to print every single recipe I see. And then the baking plan here is, when am I going to do everything? That's the action plan sheet. So we'll do that. And then all the way in the back is where I have my actual recipes. So this here is just a sketch of some spice rolls that I might want to make for either fall or Christmas. I like to draw things out and sketch so I can kind of see what I want to do and how I want to make it. And then here's some other recipes that I rely on all the time. I have cinnamon rolls, which I will be doing a video on my cinnamon rolls, as well as a lovely celery soup video. And then this is my auntie's sweet potato pie recipe. And then I have my pie dough recipe. All right, so let's talk about books. I love to find books to read for the fall. I like to read all the time, but I really love the Harry Potter series. You know, I kind of got into it late. Well, when I say late, I mean it was like 15 years ago, but later than the whole thing started. Anyway, I love those books, and I wanted to find something, because I always like to watch Harry Potter or reruns of Harry Potter like in the fall season. For some reason, I think in the scenes when the kids are going back to school, it reminds me of going back to school in the fall. It just brings back memories. So this book here is actually a series of books based on one of the characters from Harry Potter, Nicholas Flamel. And he was an alchemist in the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter's Philosopher's Stone. Anyway, there is a whole series of these books. I think there's like 5 or 6. So I picked up The Alchemist and The Magician. And I got these off of Amazon. I figured I would start with 2 first before I ordered the whole series. And I started reading this one. This is the first. And it's written in what I feel is the Harry Potter style. You just want to keep reading one more page before you go to bed. But that's what you want in a book. So far, I'm really, really enjoying this book. Yeah. And I can't wait to get to the next one, The Magician. I also picked up another book, which is Dan Brown's book, The Secret of Secrets. And I've read The Inferno, I've read The Da Vinci Code, and The Lost Symbol, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of those books. I love a good mystery, which is why I like reading his novels and the other Michael Scott novels. And in this one, we are going to be reading about our favorite character, Robert Langdon, who was in the other books, Da Vinci Code and Inferno. And I can't wait to read it. I can't wait. So I'm probably going to end up reading both of those books all at the same time because I can't wait until Christmas to read it. I need to start reading it soon. So that's what I'm going to do. So those are my 3 books that I'll be reading this holiday season. Thanksgiving is pie season. That's the time when pies really, really shine. And I love to make pies. I make maybe 2 or 3 every single year. And I wanted to do a DIY to put in my kitchen to let everybody know this is where the magic happens. So we're going to do a repurposing of this rolling pin. This is one of my mom's older rolling pins. And we're going to put some lettering on here and some decor. And we're going to hang it in our kitchen. And that's going to be part of our Thanksgiving decor. All right, so let's get started. So how we're going to do this is I've got some materials here. I have some lettering that I'm going to use on the pie pin. I've also got some transfers decoration, and we're going to use that as well. I also have some paints, which I'll be using for the handles. Some Mod Podge that we're going to finish everything off. I'm going to be using matte Mod Podge. I have a little scraper brayer thing to smooth everything out for the transfer, a paintbrush, and I have this rope that I'm going to use to hang it up. This was part of it's a decor that I bought years ago from Anthropology, and I'm sure you've seen this before, maybe on like some Christmas decorations where you've seen like reindeer or maybe some other kind of object made with these kind of twisted rope, and they come in like all different colors. So I'm going to use this. I thought this color with this orange and a little brown and rust red were absolutely perfect for this. So I've got that. I also have a little sandpaper because, as you can see, we've got some little discoloration, and that's this is fine grit sandpaper, and you see that's just going to take care of that. All right, and then I have a hair dryer because we're going to need that for the transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of these little spots on here, and then when we come back, we'll go to the next step. All right, so I finished sanding the rolling pin. As you can see, it looks beautiful. And I also, after I sanded it down, I cleaned it with some rubbing alcohol. Just spray it on there, wipe it down, and now you've got a nice clean surface to start with. So first, before we do this part, we're going to paint the handles on here. So I have some orange acrylic paint. You can use any kind of paint you want. You can use a craft paint, whatever you want. It's not, it's not that serious of which kind of paint you use. So I have orange and like a yellow ochre, because this orange may be too bright. So I wanted something to just kind of dull the orange down just a little bit. So I'm gonna put that on my little palette here and we'll see what we come up with. All right, so let's just see how this orange is gonna look. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. The natural wood color is kind of dulling it down naturally, but let's just see what this would look like mixed. I kind of like that too, so I will play around with this paint on here, and then once we do this, we're going to have to let this step dry, and then we'll go to the next step. So we finished painting our handles, and they came out great, but I'm going to maybe antique it and just bring it down a notch, the color. You can use an antiquing glaze, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna make something up. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take a little bit of some more brown paint. I'm using this golden liquid paint here. It's a fluid acrylic, so it's very thin, and it's, you don't have to use a whole lot of water, to thin it out. We may still have to, but that's why I'm just using a little piece of a paper towel so that we can get as little as possible on our little, on our handles and see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna just dab a little on both. I got a lighter brown and a darker brown because not sure exactly, what I'm gonna do. So let's start on the end first, and then we can just rub it. And that looks great. See how it's dulling down the orange? It doesn't look so new. We don't want it to look new. And it's a step you almost can't go wrong with. Actually, the only thing you could do wrong is to put too much paint on it. But we want to get in those, that little corner right there. And you have to do it before it gets too dry. See, I might have to go over that with orange. I'm just going to use my finger if I can get more paint. So, but that's kind of how you do it. You just want to dab, 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 little by little. And that's how we're going to get that on there. But you want to work fast because acrylics dry really fast. So you really have to work really quickly with this. Okay, and then after you do that, you can take the sandpaper again and kind of go over an area that you thought was like maybe too much paint. And if the sandpaper is taking too much off, see how I'm doing that? Because sometimes you have an idea what you want, and then when you start doing stuff, it actually turns out better than what you thought, which happens a lot. So you see how anytime where you have a little edge, like this edge here, and this is very forgiving. You'd have to really do a whole lot to kind of mess it up. It's not going to look messed up. If you want it worn, then pretty much whatever you do is going to be okay. So don't worry about it too much. Okay, so that is looking a little bit more worn than this. So you see how much newer this looks as opposed to this. This is what we're looking for. Something that it looks like you've been using this rolling pin for years. All right, I'm going to do the next part and then we'll move on to the transfers. All right, so our handles are looking pretty good. So for the transfers, I've got these sheets here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these for the ends of the rolling pin like that. And then I'm going to use a couple of little of these smaller ones. So I think I'm going to use the apples. They got little apples here. And maybe a couple of the leaves, and who knows, I might put a mushroom on there, but we'll see. We'll see how much room we have on here. So I'm going to put the transfers on first. Then I'm going to put my letters on. Now these aren't transfers. They're just, your regular peel off ones. So, but we're going to cover all of this in Mod Podge a little bit later in the final step. And also what I might need to do, since it's not a transfer and they're not all together, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to cut out all of my letters of what I'm going to use, and so I can put them on there individually and line them up. And how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to take a ruler and I'm going to line my ruler. I think I'm going to try to see if I can find a natural line, like right here. I could actually just use this natural line on here, and that'll just line everything up perfectly. So if you can find one on yours, then you can use that as a guide, but if you can't, then we would just take our, you want to get a pencil, and you want to do it lightly because you don't want to forget and leave the line there. You don't want to see the line in the final product. So don't use anything dark or that's something that you can't take off with sandpaper or something. Okay, so I'll just put this here. Make sure it's going to line up. Okay, let's hope this works. And just put a very light. You don't need dark line. It's very light. Okay, let me see if I can see it. I can barely see it, so I'm probably going to do this again. I just want to make sure, that it's not going to end up too dark. So let's do it again. Okay, that's a little bit better. I can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it. So I'm just using like a little bronze pencil here. It's not going to be too dark and I'll be able to see it. Okay, so now whatever transfers that you're using, just make sure that you're going to follow the instructions or whatever comes with it. And then we'll go to the next step. So I'm going to prepare these. Okay, so I've cut out all of the ones that I'm going to use. And you see here, I've peeled off the first one. And now we're going to attempt to put this on here. So let's try to do this. Not sure which side I'm going to use first. Maybe I'll go over a little bit over the edge. So there, it's going to be a little bit over that edge, just so I'll know it's on here. Okay. And here. All right. Now it doesn't go all the way around, but that's okay. Because probably what we're going to do, this is going to be our main area here that we'll have our lettering, and not really going to see the back side, but if you want to, you can certainly fill in this little gap right here. But for now, we're just going to put everything on and see how everything looks, and then we're going to see if we're going to fill in that gap. But for now, I don't think I will do that. Okay, this is where this comes in. So now we're going to make sure that this is adhering to our surface. So you just want to go over this. So what kind of pies do you guys like to cook every year? I mean, probably everybody makes apple pies and pecan pies, but I'm sure there's a lot of other family traditional type pies that everybody makes. I make sweet potato pie, probably no matter what holiday, but so it's sweet potato pies. I like to make an apple pie and an apple cranberry. Apple cranberry is so delicious. I make a Dutch apple cranberry pie that has like the streusel on top instead of another layer of dough, of pie dough. And what other pies do I like? This year I would like to try a apple butter pie. And I would also like to try a different version of the sweet potato pie by using either Japanese sweet potatoes and purple sweet potatoes. Now, I've made a purple sweet potato before, but what I found out was, purple sweet potatoes are a little bit more drier and heartier than regular sweet potatoes. So you have to adjust the whatever sweet potato pie recipe that you're using to make sure that the pie is going to be nice and creamy like your regular pie. Okay, so we're going to attempt to take the top part off and see what happens. Let's start down here. We're going to see if it's adhering. Oh, so far. Okay, perfect. Look at us. Okay, so we've got that, but I see like, excuse me, on the edges, we need to really get that down. Or you can just cut it off or sand it off. And probably sanding it off might actually look better, because then it's going to go with the, the little rough edges that we have here. And you can go even further with this kind of antiquing, depending on, how much of a country look you like, or if you like it more modern. If you like it super modern, then I would do any of this. I would just keep it a flat color, and then you just Mod Podge over it. All right, so now we're going to do this side. So you see how this comes right off. We're going to try to find the same spot that we did it before. I'm just eyeballing it here. Okay, just carefully make sure it's flat when you're going around. And there you go. Sure, don't forget those edges. All right. Let's hope this one peels off just as nice as the last one. All right, success. So we are halfway there. So what I'm going to do now is go through it and pick through my other transfers, get them on here, and then we'll come back and we'll do the letters because I want the letters to overlap any of the other little designs if that happens. So we're going to do that, and then we'll come back and put the lettering on. Okay, so I have my base decorations on here, my leaves. I filled up the little gaps there, as you can see, all on this side too. But you can also see that it's very shiny. So we're gonna sand this down a little bit to see if we can get some of that shine off of there. And then we're also going to go over it with a little antique glaze. And then we'll use the Mod Podge. So we want to make sure it's going to look right before we put the Mod Podge, because that's our last step. So now you can also see that I've cut out my letters. It's Pie Central. We want everybody to know when they come into our kitchen where they're at. They're in Pie Central around Thanksgiving time. And of course, you can put whatever you want. You can be the Pie Queen. You can be the Pie Pro. Pie Factory, whatever you want to put on here. Okay, so Pie Central. And so now we know how our letters need to line up on our pin here. And then all we need to do is find that line that we marked earlier, or you could freehand it, it's up to you. And then what I decided to do, I really wanted to make sure none of the apples got covered up. So I went ahead and just left them off until I put the letters on there, and then I can fill in any of the gaps with my apples and these last couple of little leaves and maybe this little cute little mushroom. All right, so let's do this. Or what you could also do too is, well, you've got your ruler right here, but you can, you know how we lifted up the ruler before? This is a quilting ruler, but if you don't have this, you just have a regular ruler. You could tape the ruler onto the rolling pin to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, or you could just freehand it. So if you feel very confident in yourself, freehand, but if not, use the ruler. Let's find our line, which I think is here. All right, so we've got pie on here. That looks so good to me. So I'm going to continue and put central. All right, we've got our last letter, the L. Let's see. All right, there we go. It's Pie Central. Now what I could also do is highlight these letters maybe with a little white. I might do that. And then I'm going to fill in these other little sections with the apple. I'll probably put this apple right here, and maybe the smaller apples, like one right there and a couple other ones. All right. So again, you see how that just comes off like that. Let's see, right here looks really good. Well, maybe right there. Let me take our little brayer. And these stay on pretty good, so you don't have to like keep working with it. And this would make such a great gift. Again, you can do this for Thanksgiving, but you can also do it for Christmas or Valentine's Day. Let's see, should we do the red apple or this one? Let's do the red right there. All right. It's kind of hard to dig in there sometimes. Okay. All right, we have one more little apple. Let's make this one look like it's falling. So maybe right there. Our leaves didn't come off too. Oh, there we go. All right, let's do this maybe right. Okay. Oh, that one's not on too well. Okie doke. This one's being difficult. Okay, there we go. Now our apple. And I think here we go. So I think this is looking pretty good, but I think I want to add some more leaves. We got plenty of room to put more stuff. But even though we're not going to see it that much, but let's just go ahead and do it. Oops, don't like that. Okay, almost there. All right, there we are. So I'm going to see if I want to accent this with a little white shadow because I want it to really pop on this. So let's see what we come up with. But I want to also see if instead of sanding, maybe we'll just do our Mod Podge. But let's just see how this looks first. To be honest, it doesn't really like take a whole lot of shine down. Well, maybe a little. It does help a little bit. So I don't know if you can tell. I can tell just slightly. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and sand some of these down to get that shine off. And then I'm going to try to see if I want to use that white drop shadow. All right, so I just wanted to show you, look what a difference that makes with that white drop shadow. This is what I want. So I'm just using, again, golden. I love these fluid acrylics. I use craft paint too, but I just love these. All right, so I'm going to keep going with this, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. Just in case someone wants to see, I'm using a pointy tip, and you just want to load up your paint every time. And your drop shadow is obviously going to be underneath there. And just smaller letters are going to be a little bit harder, but just, you know, I'm using my finger here to steady my hand. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to keep doing this until I get to the end. And that's all it takes for this one little thing to make it look really great. Now I know some people may be really nervous trying to do this. I actually I paint a lot, so I didn't have any qualms trying to do this. But I know maybe for a beginner, you know, it might be hard. And they're just little, quick, soft strokes. And that's it. All right, so now we are totally ready for this to dry. Then we're gonna do our kind of antique glaze, a really watered down version of what I did before on the handles. And then we can do our Mod Podge. And then we'll let, you know, obviously you have to let things dry thoroughly in between every stage. And then the Mod Podge, that's going to have to dry overnight. And then I'll need to prop this up on something so that it's not going to lie flat on anything, so that it's going to look really good and not smudge. Okay. Now our drop shadow has dried, and we're ready to put some antique glaze on it. I had to make my own. It's just some brown paint that I added a lot of water to and mixed it up so it's extremely watery. And that's what we want, because we just want just the slightest bit of color on here. Remember, you can always add, can't take away, or it's really hard to take away. So this looks perfect, the perfect consistency. So I think we're going to start maybe on the end and try to see if this really is the color that we want. And because what we we'll be doing is we'll put a little paint on and then we're gonna wipe it off. So that looks good to me. All right, so let's try the main part. And I'm just dabbing. You know, we want an aged look, but I don't want it to look dirty per se. But you can go as far as you want on the antiquing, you know. All right, so let's try this on the main part. Let's see how we do here. I know this is like, you think, I messed it up. But nope. See that? We did not harm anything. We can do this, and it's going to look just fine. Because there's so much water in here, it's just going to soak into that wood. And it's going to create just one cohesive look. So we know this is too dark. Just want to do that. Look at how fantastic that looks. I don't have to redo my paint or anything. I love it. Okay, let's get this on quickly. So yeah, you want to work quickly too. Don't mess around. Okay, get that. And we dab it off like that. And it's probably a good idea to wear gloves too, but c'est la vie. Let's keep going. We got soap, we can wash it off. Okay. All right. Oh, can't see it. Well, okay, here we go. And look at that. That looks fantastic. That's exactly how I wanted this to look. That deeper color just really brought out these letters, and it just looks great. And it almost looks like, which is what I wanted, this is the style of lettering that I chose. I wanted it to look like I hand painted it. And just that little bit of hand painting on there really makes it look like you painted it yourself. But real neat. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to get that paint on the inside here. Okay. Looks like that's a little bit darker, but you know. Again, this is something that's supposed to be used and worn, and we're not going to worry about things being perfect with this. Nice and neat, but not perfect. Neatness always outweighs trying to be perfect. All right. So that just soaked right on in there. And if you don't mind it being that dark, then just leave it like that. Or you can just wipe it off like I wiped it down, and there you go. But I don't mind it. All right, so even though this is a wash, I just want to give this an hour just to settle in the wood, And then we'll come back and we'll do our Mod Podge and let that dry, and then it'll be ready to hang up after, after we put our rope on. All right. So we've put the Mod Podge on and it looks really great. It looks like a one seamless design. And I'll make sure that I put the links to the transfers and the letters and any of the other materials that I used in the description box. Maybe not so much for the rope. If I can find something similar, I will. But you can use whatever rope that you want, honestly. So I think it came out really, really good. Okay, so now we're going to attach our rope onto our handles because we're going to hang it up. All right, so, and I've got my glue gun ready here on the side because what I'm going to do, I kind of already put a little knot where I think it's going to end, but I'm going to have to measure it one more time just to make sure because we want it to be the perfect length. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is maybe start from, have like a little tail coming down here and then wrapping it, I'm going to say probably like 3 times. Or yeah, about 3 times so it can come 3 times so it can come backwards this way. All right, so I'm going to do that, put some glue on that. Okay, I put a little spot of glue on there. I think I might have to do one more. Another dollop. Okay. And then some on the back side here. All right, where's our, okay. So we want this hanging back that way and this coming this way. All right, so it looks like I'm gonna need to put some glue here. So just put your glue where you need to so it can stay in the position you need it to stay in. There's our cute little tail there. And, oops. All right, so we're gonna have to let that sit. All right, so I'm pretty confident that here was my initial knot that I made for the end. I'm pretty confident that I can cut it right here. All right, there we go. And then I'm gonna tie a knot here at the end. And I actually like this little fray coming undone there, so I'm going to do that because it's probably become undone anyway on its own, but I really like it. All right, so that's cute. All right, so now we're going to glue this and do the same thing on this end that we did on this end. All right, I'm gonna place, make sure we have the same length going back. There we go. See about. Right, I think that's how I'm gonna want it. So we're gonna let the glue harden, and then we'll hang it up. All right, so here we go. That's our rolling pin. Let's go put it up. Right, here she is. And she's gonna live on my pot rack, which I thought was a perfect place. Announcing we are now at Pie Central. It's official. We're in Pie Central now. Time to make those pies. Here's my Halloween tablescape for this year. I'm just using a garland from Hobby Lobby that I just kind of folded in half and brought together. A few pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. I'll be adding the cute little basket there is from Walmart. And I'll be linking that in the description box below if it's still available. That skull I actually made at one of those ceramic do-it-yourself places where you paint it and then they bake it for you and then you go back and pick it up. That's where that skull came from years ago. I started a cooking and baking playlist. Watch me turn my cake fail into a cake wow right now.